Hey folks, welcome back. So we're going to video is going to really cover the missed opportunity in my overall impressions of the 2023 Alien Week, and it's kind of what they brought to the table, what the content is. I noticed that they didn't run any events, which is good because people are super frustrated with the events, considering that the state of the game is in such rough condition. And then another thing that we're going to discuss is the fact that they just kind of snuck in a phantom or a ninja wipe there at the end. And I think what we'll do is we'll start with the ninja wipe that they snuck there at the end. And I'm personally I'm getting now let me restate that everything in this video is of my opinion, but I'm super getting salty about having to redo all these bullshit like mediocre quests that are marginal to begin with, and then to have to grind through them to get your like bounty rep back to do your VHRTs or HRTs or whatever. Like those missions are trash to begin with, and they're old, but then to have to be forced to redo it. Also, this whole thing about it's been like a year now since the persistent universe has been active, and I mean the 30K protection and the inventory where they have and all that stuff was wiped. Like I had bought a bunch of ships, not ships, but vehicles and modulars and components. All that stuff was wiped. Like if I would have known that all my ships were going to be wiped, um, I wouldn't have purchased anything for testing and video content. But now I'm down another million. So collectively, due to all the wipes, I'm probably down close to 16 million. And it's crazy though that it's like every time they have a big event, it just seems like they have to sneak in a wipe to force people to make it painful enough for them to where they'll want to buy assets. And after I think I've covered the wipe thing enough, but I just made me a pot of coffee, so I was laying in bed thinking about how agitated I am with this. And I don't want my YouTube channel to be a Star Citizen channel, and I've been playing quite a bit of D4 lately, and it's just been such a good experience. And I'm just kind of partly agitated with, and you notice that all the other YouTubers are making Starfield videos, and nobody's really making a lot of Star Citizen content. And as we look through this website here, you'll see that they're bringing all the old tired shit. The only thing that they added to this Alien Week was a new skin, and when I applied that new skin to the Talon, they didn't even take the time to crop out the windows. So the windows were covering up the glass there in the Talon, and I thought, wow, that's and there could have even they could have even used the opportunity to like add a couple concepts, and they don't have to be ships. Maybe they could have done a concept weapon, because everybody knows we're not going to see that shit for like 2 or 3 years. So they could have added a concept weapon. They could have added another armor set and changed the color, like had it black with the red or yellow with green or something, and added a few different art. But this is the same old tire shit that's been on the subscriber store, and and they pulled it into the Invictus. I mean the Alien Week. And so there's nothing, and most of these ships are like super old and dated. And if you go through and you give it, like they say they want everything to be gold standard, a lot of this stuff is like copper standard or doesn't work the way that it's supposed to. Um, they could have said, hey, if you bought this ship, this is gonna be your loaner, right? When you go more info, they could have said right here, more info. Your loaner is going to be is going to be this, right? Let's see what the loaner is on this. But and this actually, I don't know how this is. You know, we're probably not going to see this for like 3 or 4 years. I bet you it's a Connie. I bet you if I were to just guess randomly, I bet you it's a Connie. And even the Banu Defender is like super dated too. It's just such a shit experience. I'm gonna melt most of my stuff down after after I make my content and I'm messing around with it. I thought another thing that was interesting is you can get the paints if you go in here and you can get the paints for like they added new paints for the Banu Defender. They added paints. There's nothing for this. They added paints for this. They added paints for this. They added paints for that's another thing. This didn't come out. This was, what a missed opportunity. So the word on the street is now that this is supposed to release in December, like another 6 months down the road. It's like, oh wow. So they added paints for this and they added paints for this. So when they're adding paints for stuff, it's a good indicator of of where the value and where they're at with that ship. Like they don't add any paints for this, so that tells me that there's no plan for development or updates. Or, this is dead in the water. This is dead in the water. There's no paints for this. So it's just overall, I would say Alien Week, I would give it a C rating. It's a pretty doo-doo experience. It's a pretty doo-doo experience. They could have done a little bit of work and created some more armor sets. They could have done a couple prototype weapon sets. They could have they could have done a race for a little ground race event on one of the planets at the racetrack and given away a free one of these. Not it couldn't matter. Maybe it wouldn't even just be an in-game ship purchase, so that way when they did the next wipe, you would get wiped anyways. But they could have done an event with one of the racing event with one of these. They didn't do any of that. It's very, very lackluster, And I think to close this video off, I think the thing that bugs me the most about all this, that really, really, really doesn't sit right with me, is the fact that all of these assets and all of the money that we spend on this doesn't go towards improving or updating the PU. It goes towards Squadron 42. And I give no shits about Squadron 42. I backed early enough into the game that I'll get a copy of it, but I think this is my prediction. I think once Starfield hits the market in September, that there is going to be a mass exodus out of Starfield for a number of reasons, and it's going to be to the way that they've treated the persistent universe, the community in the persistent universe, and bled them dry in order to back another game. And the community is aware of that, and it's just super dirty. It's super dirty. They really need to think about the product development and the time and the energy they put into the persistent universe, considering that they're leeching the assets and the wealth out of the PU community to pay for that Squadron 42 bullshit. So, and we don't know if we'll ever see it. We don't ever see it. I watched a couple of YouTube videos yesterday about like scam games that came out over the years, and that kind of talked about how it led up to the grand event, and how it. And I'm not saying that Star Citizen is that, but there are certain outliers that definitely resonate, and you're like, that definitely sounds like some Star Citizen bullshit, And it's one of those things where I'm not happy. I'm not happy. And there's a bunch of games coming out, and you know, and it's one of those things is if they don't make their money, and it'll show. We'll see if I'm alone, and we'll see if I'm alone in my thoughts, because we'll see when it comes to their financial reports, and Alien Week is 40% down compared to last year, and you know, and if it's down super big, then it obviously they you know, people aren't happy and they don't want to spend any money on any of this stuff because they dropped the ball, and they're, you know, they didn't it's not about hype, it's just about engagement. You know, there's no engagement. You know, broken ass patches, shitty gameplay experience, you know, wiping you and taking your ships that you did earn, remaking you play the shitty ass bounty missions, and um, it's just doo doo. It's doo doo. It's doo doo. Well, anyways, folks, it's not to be a negative, but I rate this overall Alien experience a C at its best. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree. If I missed something, and of course, all of these are in my opinion, and this is kind of I'm gonna call it a rant review. Rant review. It's just like they could have had a race. They could have had a race over there on Daymar, and you know, showcase one of the new racetracks. They could have had a couple of YouTubers live streaming the race, or you know, set up a prize, and they didn't do any of that. And it's just about extorting money out of the community to pay for another game. You know, it's mediocre at best. And don't get me wrong, I want Star Citizen to be successful. I want Star Citizen to be successful, but I just completely tired of the trash. All right, thanks for watching, folks.